Every year, over 200 million cases of malaria are reported globally. 94% of them are in Africa.
Even if I don't have a background in healthcare,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and say that, let me leave this to the doctors. Let me do what I can do right now. They'll find us on the way. Yeah.
Is there another innovation like this, like in the world, handheld, non-invasive for malaria?
You see, malaria has been there for the longest time. I think even in the BCs, some sources say in the 3400 BCs, even Jesus was not born. Can you imagine? For Christians, he left it. So he's going to come back again 2,000 years later.
In fact, AI can diagnose malaria more accurately than traditional methods. Fact or fiction?
Well, I'd say
Hi there, welcome to HealthBeat Africa. I'm your host, Valentine Kamau. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing AI-powered malaria diagnostics. And to start us off, let me read some rather staggering statistics. Every year, over 200 million cases of malaria are reported globally. 94% of them are in Africa. And of this, 95% of the deaths occur in Africa. And here's the thing, many of these deaths are due to late or misdiagnosis. But what if we could change that? What if malaria tests didn't need needles, blood, or a lab? Well, MariTest Africa is making that a reality. They have developed a non-invasive AI-powered device that's changing how malaria diagnosis is done. Joining me today is Stanley Kinyanjui, a co-founder at MariTest Africa, and I'm excited to have this conversation. Hi, Stanley. How are you doing?
Hi, Valentine. I'm really glad to be here. It's a pleasure to meet you also in person. And I'm excited about the journey ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. So let's get right into it. Tell us about your journey, your background, and how MariTest came to be that journey.
Well, I'd say that I was born here in Kenya. I've lived my whole life in Kenya, and I actually stayed for some time in Machakos, and I went to school there, and went to also school in at the M-Pesa Academy, where I think my journey with innovation started there. And then afterwards, I went to the African Leadership University for my undergrad.
Yeah.
So I think all along my journey, education has really been important for me, because also where I come from, we're always told that education is the key.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad to be here today. And I'd actually say that my journey has some elements of luck, and malaria has also affected me in different ways.
Yeah.
And I think towards like in 2003, 2004 there, according to what my mom tells me, it's that I suffered at some point, and I had that cerebral malaria. And I almost died, actually. This is a story I've not told many people, but I also have an encounter with malaria.
Yeah.
Right now, I also have a background in finance. I love finance.
Yeah.
I'm a financial modeling and valuation analyst.
Yeah.
I'm certified, and also my background in education is on entrepreneurial leadership. Yeah.
Interesting. So financial modeling and valuation analyst.
Yeah.
FMVA.
FMVA.
Wow. So you're a finance expert.
Yeah, I'd like to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now how did that come? How did you now get into the health tech, and how did that come about?
Well, as I said earlier, my education has been so much focused on problem solving. And this world of innovation, I think that has really helped me so much. And I always see innovation as a great path towards problem solving. Personally, I never even actually imagined, like if you told me in 2022 or prior to that I'd be innovating something in healthcare, I'd not believe you, because I never saw that as an opportunity. Because I'm so much focused on business and also governance. But after I heard my friend's story with malaria, which I also related with, and after reading also the statistics that you've also shared here, I said, I'm not going to be limited. I'm not going to limit myself, because I also, there's one guy, his name is Eliud Kipchoge, who I draw much inspiration from. He says, no human is limited. So I decided, even if I don't have a background in healthcare, I'm not going to sit there and say that, let me leave this to the doctors. Let me do what I can do right now. They'll find us on the way. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. So it was sort of, the experience you had, the lived experience that now your mom told you about, because I'm sure you have no memory of that.
Yeah, I don't have any memory of that.
Yeah, so that lived experience, and then now also your co-founder. So tell us about your journey, meeting your co-founder, how that happened, and now how this shared dream came about to be.
Well, my co-founder, his name is Hakim Kakuza. He's Ugandan. And we actually met at the African Leadership University when we were joining in May of 2022. We were actually roommates.
Yeah.
And there's some time I used to see him like so stressed up and trying to find some solutions, working on Arduino boards and stuff. And then I asked him, what's up with all this?
Yeah.
And he told me his story with malaria when he was at an island in Uganda, a remote island, and he once suffered malaria.
Yeah.
And he got late diagnosis.
Yeah.
So the malaria really affected his liver. So from there, he was like, we need to find another way to diagnose malaria.
Yeah.
That will not require too much of expertise. That will not require too many resources, and also do it non-invasively.
Yeah.
So that's where we met, and I decided I'm going to do this. I'm going to join you, and I'm committing myself to actually end this malaria, because it's going to contribute heavily, because you can see that 40% of all the deaths that malaria, all the lives that malaria claims, most of them actually come from late diagnosis.
Yeah.
So it's from there that I also drew that inspiration to make an impact. Yeah.
Okay. So you see your friend trying to, crack this, and then you decide to join him.
Yeah.
So from there, how did that brainstorming go, and what's the next step after that? You're still in university, so how did you actually balance the two?
So then we were actually in first year. We were not putting so much time in it. So I think we were doing it like a normal school project, something like that, because he also had a mission in healthcare.
Yeah.
We were not so much serious about it. So it took some time for us to make some progress.
Yeah.
But I think after September of that year, we decided let's just put some extra time and apply to some competitions even in school. Let's try and get something done.
Yeah.
So you see, where we school, they also give that opportunity for innovators by bringing in some hackathons and opportunity to present, to pitch, and even to judges or even investors.
Yeah.
So we decided to draft like a good pitch deck to explain the vision that we had at that time. And I think we got second place at some innovation competition. We were there at the African Leadership University. And from there we saw that people are actually seeing the value of what we are going to do. And even if at that time we only had a pitch deck.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Just a pitch deck.
Just a pitch deck, but we sold to them the vision. Yeah. So after that, we gained some momentum. We tried to look into other opportunities for hackathons.
Yeah.
We stumbled upon one called Futurize, where we applied also. It didn't have a prototype at that time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So we applied, made sure we had a very good pitch deck. Because also at school we taught about a lot of entrepreneurship, so pitching was not an issue.
Yeah.
So we practiced a lot, and we got into that hackathon.
Yeah.
And we got some little money that helped us to get at least our first prototype. Yeah.
So all this time, it's just an idea. Like on the pitch deck, you're saying you'll have a hardware solution that is a handheld device.
Yeah.
That's all you have. It's just the idea.
Yeah. It was until April of 2023 that we got at least some money to do that prototype, the first prototype.
Yeah.
So that's after that we started going to competitions with the prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So after that, so at this point, is the company registered, or how is that? How is the legal part going?
At that time, the whole of 2023, we had not registered, but we registered it towards the end, because he started seeing that we need to start operating this as a company, not as a hobby, not as a normal school project. So that's when we bootstrap here and there. We got the funds actually to do the registration. And we also made sure that we got a bank account for the company. So in Uganda, it was easier. It was not as tough as here. So we registered and also continued to have more team members join us to help us move forward. Because you remember, at the time, we don't have money, so we can't pay people. So we actually getting people who believe in the idea. And we had like an agreement that if, for example, you give some deliverables, we might actually exchange that with some equity with them. So like maybe 5%, but it's going to vest after like 2 years. But for it to vest, you have to present some deliverables. So that's what helped us to move forward.
So MariTest is officially registered in Uganda.
It's officially registered in Uganda and also in the UK.
Okay. So headquartered in Uganda.
That's our headquarters for now. But with advice and you're not looking up, because there's been so much interest from the UK to have the Ugandan one as a subsidiary, but we are still evaluating on that. We want to make sure that we maintain the roots.
Okay. Interesting how the whole setup happened. So now take us through the innovation. What exactly is this innovation? How does it work for someone who's never heard about something non-invasive that is diagnosing malaria? We are all used to, you have to go to the clinic, there's blood. If it's a child, they're screaming all over, even adults, we are scared of the needles. So take us through this non-invasive AI-powered malaria diagnosis.
So let me pick it up from where it's a first prototype. But before that, let me explain what the principle behind it. So MariTest is actually a handheld device that leverages on AI to detect malaria. How we do it is through magnetic tunneling sensors. Because you see, when you get malaria, there's some component that is released after the parasite feeds on the hemoglobin. It's called hemozoin. So this hemozoin has ions, Fe3 plus, something like that. And they are magnetic. That means they are magnetic in nature. So we are leveraging on this magnetic component to diagnose malaria, in addition to adding some optical sensors on it, because this hemozoin is also crystalline. So meaning it's dark. It's dark, so it's going to lead to some opacity of the red blood cells, and also leveraging on temperature. So we are using those three components to diagnose malaria. So in our first prototype, it was actually just a normal screening device. It was a black box. I like to call it a black box. So you used to have it, and you insert a finger. So, and then that will be able to diagnose whether you have it or not by looking at the level of ions inside your blood, because it will be examined through the fingertip. So after we did some feedback. We went to seek feedback from the community and from some medical officers there in Uganda. One thing that came out was that thing was bulky. It was actually the size of this glass going up. So it was bulky, and then that bit of inserting the finger, it was going to harbor some pathogens inside there. So it's going to make it unsafe for people. So from there, we decided to do an iteration of that device, make it smaller. That's why it's handheld, and then put in that bit of AI and data for surveillance of the disease. So it's going to be like 2-in-1. So we have the device, and then we are developing now another aspect of it called the MariTest Malaria Intelligence Center. So this one is going to be like once you get the diagnosis, whether you have it or not, that data goes into the MariTest Intelligence Center. So that will be able to help us to monitor disease outbreaks and also do some effective surveillance of that disease. So know where this disease is, where guys are getting this disease from, something like that. So we are going to offer 2 services. The screening one, to know whether you have malaria or not, and also the data bit. Because we realized after COVID, the importance of data mapping, especially for disease control.
Okay, very interesting. So you've said the size. What's the size of the device? Would you give it about maybe 6 inches or?
I think it's the size of my phone. It's not that huge. I think I should have come with one, but I was not able to.
Yeah.
It's a small device that can fit on your hand. So you just place the finger for diagnosis.
Yeah.
It has when you place the finger, it has an SP02 sensor that will be able to look into your blood. Yeah.
Okay, wow. So how, when you are doing this, the prototype, and now you're on the second prototype, what's the reception like from the community health workers, in Uganda village health teams? How are they, what's the response? Are they using it? What's the feedback like?
So because we haven't launched yet, what we are doing is just some iterations based on feedback.
Yeah.
But this year, because every year since last year, we've been doing World Malaria Days on April 25th.
Yeah.
Last year we did it here in Nairobi just to do some sensitization about malaria. So this year we did it in Uganda in a remote village called Kibuku. So we assembled 50 village, they call themselves VHTs.
Yeah.
So, and for feedback purposes, as we're also celebrating that day. And the acceptance was actually very great. They were happy. And actually two of them said that there's a time they've gone to the community to diagnose malaria with the RDTs. So someone has all the symptoms of malaria, but the RDT reads otherwise.
Yeah,
so I think they shared how that erodes the trust.
Yeah.
Because if you look, people are viewing you as someone who's coming to help, but whatever you're giving is contradictory.
Yeah.
That's erodes trust. So they said they are really waiting for this device to launch so that they adopt it in their communities, and also the fact that it's pocket size.
Yeah.
Because they go to the communities with some aprons, so they can put it in their apron and power it on without much of any skills required. So it's going to be easy for them. And also one thing they shared is that when they go to the communities and when they are diagnosing kids, it's very difficult for that during that process, because most kids fear needles, and sometimes you might need to draw blood maybe once or twice, depending on the accuracy of the RDTs, whether you like it or not. So it becomes a nuisance. But now that this is going to be non-invasive, they believe that kids are really going to be receptive of it. And because also that more than 67% of those cases are from kids.
Yeah. So this will really help, especially at the primary healthcare level, where most of the people will first go and seek help. So
so essentially that's the idea, because we want to capture this diagnosed malaria at the lowest level, even with they call them dispensaries. And also, if that's not possible, there are these people who go door to door to conduct the test when they partner with the health ministry or maybe some other NGOs. So we want to make it as available as possible.
Okay, interesting. So you've mentioned the partnership with ministries of health. So how is that partnership angle going? Who are you looking to loop in?
So currently, let me start with the NGOs. We have some good people who are working alongside that avenue of eradicating malaria, such as the Rotarians Against Malaria. We've had some discussions with them, and we are still trying to evaluate our idea and give them some value for it. But they really like how the idea is coming up. And also people like Youth Corps, Malaria Youth Corps. I think this was established by each government. They are there here in Kenya. They really helped us to do our first event here in Nairobi. And they also involved in this sensitization issue against malaria. Government is also always the trickiest part. But during our events, we try as much as possible to have people from the ministry at least. Because this year, we actually partnered with the ministry, and we got some few people who work against malaria in the Ministry of Uganda. So because it's also a new thing, it's quite difficult for the government to come up with some measures or something like that. So we haven't yet gotten like the partnerships that we want, but we believe we are on the way. We're on the right path, and we are going to get them eventually, because they are really critical. They are critical stakeholders in this journey.
Because the Ministry of Health, they're creating the policies and everything. So for this to even have impact and widespread, even to the grassroots, definitely government needs to be on board. So you are in talks with them, and at least they are coming for some of your events.
They sent some representatives sometime when we are doing that event. But we also want to make sure we have as much audience with them, so that they also understand what we are doing. And because they also supposed to provide security to their citizens, they have to make sure that it's safe. So we're still in the early stages, and our clinical lead is leading that direction and making sure that we get the right audience with them. So we've been trying to, because it's also always difficult to get audience with them, but we believe it's going to get easier with time.
It definitely will. And so actually now you've mentioned something about the data center that you will come up with. So this brings me to a point on data sovereignty, protection, privacy. How are you going about that, and what's the plan?
So essentially, the plan is to make sure this data is as anonymized as possible. But with the plan of MariTest going to different jurisdictions, I believe it's going to be a huge challenge for us, because every country has different data principles that have to be followed. So that's one of the challenges we think we are going to encounter, but we are looking into it together with the product development team to make sure that everybody is going to be safe. The data is going to be anonymized as possible. And because actually it's very frustrating, because if every country, from a developer's point of view, if every country has very stringent, very strict data policies, it might be difficult for some innovations to go through, because it will take lots of time to penetrate that innovation.
And data is needed.
And data is king. We say data is king. And funny enough, also, apart from the data, because they have to do a lot of regulations here and there, the AI bit is also going to be something else that is challenging, because I think it's new to everyone. And I think I've only seen like the UK who have had like that regulatory approach on AI. So it's not as common as possible for these other countries. So it's only the UK and the EU in general that have that AI regulatory framework. So down here, I believe that because the absence of that framework in these countries, even Kenya, I don't think it has like a written one on paper for AI that is strict.
There's a strategy.
There's a strategy.
The Kenya AI strategy, but it's also very recent.
Doesn't go into detail. Also the AUDANEPAD, like the African Union Agency for Development, they also have that framework, but it's not as detailed as one would expect. So it still leaves lots of gaps. And those are the challenges we consider that are really going to be tough on us.
Okay, but all these challenges are worthwhile, because what you're building is going to impact lives. I think that, that is the key.
Sure. And I see in the building space, patience is key. Patience is very key. And because we are dealing with something that is going to touch our lives and it's going to be used by people on a daily. So it has to be as safe as possible. If you are building something like an app, let me tell you, I think we'd be in the market like soonest.
You would have been in the market.
Soonest. But this device, because it also like involves a lot of hardware in it, let me tell you, it's really tough. But we are up to the task. I'd say that.
Is there another innovation like this, like in the world, handheld, non-invasive for malaria?
What I know is that Yale University and Johns Hopkins, some of them had come up with a diagnostic device, but it's not handheld. The one for Yale is actually very big. Resembles like a speaker, so it can't be replicated for last mile delivery or last mile diagnosis. But they have I think they had started doing it, but it's still under research.
Yeah.
We've not had any news from that side. Yeah.
So this is it's cutting edge.
It's cutting edge because when we were designing it, we were designing it for last mile. Because another thing is that human-centered design is very important in our building, and at the same time we want to make sure that there is inclusivity in our design, so it can be used by anyone without having too much skill as compared to those ones that I've been reading about. So they'll require like a medical personnel to handle it. So for how you're building MariTest, you're building it in such a way that it's going to be as easy as possible to use.
Yeah, easy to use, last mile. Okay,
can go even to the deepest areas in the rural areas. Yeah.
Amazing. So now this brings me to, so now we know about the innovation, how it's working, how you built it. So now it comes to, now there's a company. With a company comes different challenges, something about management, you're hiring talent. You mentioned you have a product lead, you have a chief operations officer, there's a clinical lead. So tell us about how you have managed those management challenges that come with a growing company. How has it been?
See, when you're a startup, the founders will much or less do this, like everything.
Yeah, you're everything.
Even if you don't know, you'll have to learn.
Yeah.
So it has been a learning curve for both of us, Hakim and I.
Yeah.
But there are some areas that a place like hiring, that one you've really learned a lot on that side, because at some point we had to hire like someone to help us on the PCB designs, because it was taking some time.
Yeah.
I'd say we made some mistakes somewhere, but we quickly learned on that mistake. So and also somebody like me, I remember at some point I did some internship in HR.
Yeah.
And so I know a bit about hiring and what goes through there. And at the same time, you see, I have that finance background, so I'm the one who does that tax filing and everything. So I basically do like the management bit. So me and Hakim does, we have divided some roles.
Yeah.
There are roles that he can do, or there are some roles that I have to do myself.
Yeah.
But he does so much on partnerships because you really need them. So I do so much within the company.
Yeah. So you are the tax expert, finance expert. You're tax compliant.
Yeah, we're tax compliant.
Yes.
I think we also filed by June 30th for the Ugandan, based on the Ugandan laws.
Yeah.
So we are compliant.
Yeah.
And you see, sometimes when you're starting up, I said that you need to have like a bank account so that you show that you are serious.
Yeah.
And another thing is having like an email domain. So those are things that show that you are a serious company. Even if you are small, when you have those ones, at least someone will know this is a company.
Yeah.
But basically we do lots of, Hakim and I do lots of work. Yeah. And at the same time, you also have to show up and represent MariTest wherever we need to be. Like I think tomorrow I'll be going to Tanzania. We have some event, we are going there.
Yeah.
And another thing is that in this journey, anytime is meeting time.
Yeah.
And especially when you're building, we even meet at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So we have meetings like at any time because it's a startup and things are changing.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's never easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to talk to partners who are in a different time zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we also have to have like lots of accountability calls between myself and Hakim, and also to see even people who we've delegated some tasks to do, especially on the development bit, because much of the AI, we have someone who's going to be doing it. So we have to do lots of calls to make sure that everything is in order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what about, we know in Africa about the infrastructure challenges that Africa as a whole, some countries are better at it, some are not quite there. So infrastructure in terms of technology, how has that played any part in, like the development you're doing?
Yes. You see, like first iteration, actually the second iteration, because we've been doing so much on the PCB designs and doing some schematic designs of the hardware bit.
Yeah.
So we have to design them locally and send them to China.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of time for you to get back the boards, the actual boards, so that you can come and integrate them on the device.
Yeah.
So I think that plays a key role. in the lack of infrastructure and everything.
Yeah.
And the fact that actually you see, I don't know, like I say this, it's also a challenge for young startups.
Yeah.
Rent.
Yeah.
Rent is actually very expensive.
Yeah.
And especially for startups like ours, who have not started generating revenue.
Yeah.
So we have to do a lot of balancing, a
Yeah.
lot of partnerships to make sure that we at least have somewhere we can call home or we can operate from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that infrastructure, if manufacturing was done in Africa,
Yeah.
or even in Kenya and Uganda, that would significantly improve the experience.
That will improve the experience. It will limit the wasted time.
Yeah.
Because also sending it back, sending it there, there's also an element of taxation. So you have to pay some taxes. But if you are doing it locally, it would be very easy. But we're looking forward to do something about that.
Yeah.
Get the right expertise to do that even locally. And it's also in our plans to have like those machines, those printing machines locally.
Okay, great. Actually, so now you've mentioned something that we'll touch on about the money bit, the money aspect. So you mentioned you received some grants in the beginning. So how has that been? Is it more you've been looking for funders? Is it angel investors, institutional funding? How has that been going?
The first time we got actually some funding was in 2020. The one that helped us to do some prototypes. Yeah. But prior to that, we are doing a lot of bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is going to be, has been very important for us. And any startup out there, they have to do bootstrapping before they attract any grants. So for us, we've been going, because we were in uni, we went through so many competitions, even in school. We win, we get some grants, we put it and plan for it. Because it's very unpredictable. So at this time, you might be having a grant, but you still keep on applying for as many as possible. I think Oxford University at some point last year gave us some little grant because we attended the Africa Oxford conference and we won some awards there. So they gave us like some 10 pounds grants. So that has also helped us because, you see, in the startup world, frugality is at the core of everything. Because you don't have money to spend. So you have to use the little resources you have to the maximum. So currently we've been relying on angel investor, equity-free funding. That is the grants. But we also others are also coming up. They say they want to partner with us. They want to give us some funding, but in exchange for equity. But we are still looking at everything that involves that, so that we make the right decisions and don't so that you don't sell the company without knowing of raising money.
Okay. So that's really interesting. So you're still in development stage. So how there's this talent that you have, the employees that you have. So are these grants also able to sustain, the people that you have on board? Are you and Hakim or on some kind of salary, a stipend, profitability?
Because him and I are full-time. Sometimes we do some stipends if it's there. But you don't necessarily like depend on it entirely, because you know how it's unpredictable it is. And then for our other team, as I said before, we had some deliverables that they had to do. Some of them work in different companies, so they have some deliverables they have to present before their shares vest. So some of them have ownership in MariTest. And but we always like facilitate them if you want them to go for a certain event to help us. We facilitate them and give them some allowance or some stipend at least. Okay,
good. It will get there.
Because we also understand the position of the company right now financially.
It's a startup that will have an impact. Okay, great. So for this to actually now be rolled out, now you're working on Uganda, what do you think the process will be like in Kenya? I'm sure there are very different regulatory landscapes. What do you foresee being in Kenya, and how soon do you think this will actually be, just come over to Kenya and then now expand to Africa? What do you think that process will be like? What hurdles will you have to go through?
Well, I think that will be the trickiest part or the most challenging part for our company, because you have to get clinical trials. in Uganda, and something else that baffles me is that you can do clinical trials in Uganda, but if you want to come to Kenya, you still have to do something like that.
Yeah.
But we are exploring to have make sure you have the ISO standards certificates, like the ISO 13481, 485 on quality management systems, and also the ISO 90001 and ISO 6061 for on the electrical components, because our device is also having that integration of electrical components in it. So I believe when you have this, because it also takes time to get them, and it's also expensive to get them, they'll help us also get that, you see, the CE marking, the European market, that certifies the European market. I don't know, in Africa, I think when it has that CE marking, it becomes more credible, and it reduces the burden of doing more clinical trials and something like that.
Yeah. So, like, what's that timeline? So in Uganda, that everything goes through clinical trials. What's that timeline?
Assuming you have the money that we need, our clinical trials will take 6 months. That's 6 months, and then 3 months to do data dissemination and analyze all the data we have, and then applying for those ISO standards. Takes because ours is a class 2 medical device, it might take 6 to 18 months. Depending on how the device performs.
So that timeline sounds like something like 2 to 3 years.
2 years. I'd say 2 years. Based on how far we've come, I think 2 years is going to be enough if we have the money that we need.
Okay, great. So then that's in Uganda. Then you come in Kenya and do the same thing, go in another African country.
So that's actually what we're trying to avoid, using having these ISO standards and the CE marking. So it might not be as tedious as how we're going to do it in Uganda, but it's going to take some process. I believe maybe in a span of 3 months or 6 months, when you come here, we'll be able to meet all their needs, and make sure that it's going to be safe, because they also have to take time, scrutinize the device, make sure it's safe for their people.
Okay.
But you're not going to do everything from scratch once we have all these certifications.
So the certifications will help you,
they're very important. They'll help us a lot. They'll also give some credibility to our work, because by the time you actually get them, if you get them, let me tell you, you are a step ahead. You are a step ahead. Okay, great. So then this brings me to something about when this device is actually there, is there an accuracy level? Is there an accuracy level that is, the benchmark? What is there? So the golden standard right now to diagnose malaria is the microscope. It has 95% accuracy. And then we have the MRDTs, which have sometimes 88% accuracy. But the golden standard one is the microscope. So we want to make sure that our accuracy levels are within that range of 90% at least.
So during, has that been done yet?
So during our first iteration, we had a good percentage of true positives and true negatives. So we got to at least an accuracy of 80% after doing screening some 270 plus patients. But that is low clinically. So you have to, that's why we are bringing in this other device that we are really working on tirelessly to make sure that we have everything in order, and our benchmark or our target is to have it at 90%.
90%. Similar to the microscope.
Similar to the microscope, or closer to it, because the MRDT is actually 88. Something like that. Okay.
Great to know that it will be safe and accurate.
It has to. Otherwise, it will not be accepted in the society, or it will not be accepted by the health ministries.
Given that health is very sensitive. Very sensitive. Okay, great. So now we'll move to a segment where, now that you're the health tech innovator and using AI, I want to know, is this fact or fiction? Because there's a lot going on in social media, the AI world. People say this, people say that. So you tell us, in your area of expertise, is this fact or fiction? Great. Okay, so AI can diagnose malaria more accurately than traditional methods. Fact or fiction?
Well, I'd say I don't want to say a definite answer, but now the traditional methods like the microscope, which is the golden standard,
Yeah.
is more accurate than AI. But you see, AI improves with the data it's given, and the accuracy also improves with how it's going to be fed with the data, and how the patterns are going to be, all the filters on the. Because for us currently, we'll be using the CNNs, convoluted neural networks.
Yeah.
And we are going to feed data, which is going to also be divided into different filters.
Yeah.
So all these are meant to make sure that it's going to be accurate.
Yeah.
So with time and with data, I believe it's going to surpass the microscope.
Yeah. So for now, traditional is more accurate, but with time and all this building.
With time and adoption and people accepting it in the society, then definitely it's going to be something else. Yeah, it's going to be very accurate.
Amazing. So next, non-invasive AI health tools are less trusted by patients than blood tests.
You see, in Africa, seeing is believing. And for the longest time, I think since the 1880s, when the first malaria strain was seen under a microscope by a French military guy, we've been doing it using blood.
Yeah.
So it's in us. So we've grown up seeing it being done that way. So adults, let me say people of age might not trust it because it's not how they've grown seeing it being done. But we see children or people of a young age, they are more likely to trust AI compared to the blood because it's more convenient to them.
Yeah, definitely. There's the whole belief that blood has to be drawn.
Blood has to be drawn because someone has seen blood being drawn for all his life. And then they're coming to tell him that, look, just put your hand. They'll be like, okay, how? I've never seen that happening. But we know with time and acceptance in the society, people will start finding ways. And you see right now, people are actually adopting AI, especially the generative tools. Those ones,
the Gen AI.
Yeah, people are taking them up so massively. But when it comes to healthcare, I think you see healthcare is very sensitive.
Yes.
So it will take some time for people to adopt it and to trust it. But once they adopt it, we are good to go.
Yeah, great. Next, Africa is not ready for AI-powered diagnostic hardware.
I'll say this. I don't think it is ready yet because if Africa was ready right now, we'll be having like a good enough AI regulatory framework and also the infrastructure. Because you see, AI, especially for people like us, will be dealing with lots of data. A lot of electricity is going to be needed and some good infrastructure. So I believe Africa is not yet ready. They have that idea of having it, but on paper, they haven't put something that is concrete enough to make sure that AI is going to be ready. I think we have been conditioned to be consumers, not producers. So that's another element that comes in. But if Africa steps up, then I believe it's going to be a different level because we've been conditioned to always take things or take innovations from elsewhere. A place like UK, I'd say they are very ready because they have a regulatory framework that is risk-based, and then the UK, that is principle-based. And then the EU now covers them with one that is risk-based compared to Africa that is not as detailed.
I think we're operating differently. Every country, we're doing our own thing.
They just, actually the EU has, not the EU, the AU has this idea of, it's proposing to the member states that you can do this, you can do this. So it's not yet there that you can rely on.
It's not set in stone yet.
Not yet. I think they need to do a lot of work, especially because I think AI is going to be very critical in them delivering the Agenda 2063.
Amazing. Agenda 2063. So about in the next 40 years.
So they have to start now. They have to be very serious about it. And we also need to see these legislations going on in even the East African region, East African community, the AU, and also the Kenyan Parliament. they have to take it seriously because, okay, we might give them benefit of doubt that it's still novel, still new, but I think we need to see lots of progress going on. Yeah.
I think even for a start, it should even be easier to do things within the East Africa community.
Yeah.
It should.
Yeah.
But it's currently not that easy.
Not that easy. Not that easy. Even though we have that community aspect.
Yeah.
In some areas, especially healthcare, I think every country had decided to do it its own way.
Yeah. Its own way.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're now coming to a close. Tell us about, your long-term vision, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. How is that looking like? Where do you see MariTest?
Well, I'd love to see MariTest in the most rural communities. We want to make sure that we reduce that that percentage of people who die out of late diagnosis from at least 40%. It's our dream that we have it at 0%.
Yeah.
But in the next 5 years, if we reduce that by half, that will be very great.
Yeah.
And we also want to see that MariTest is being used and it's going to be, we want to see that it's aiding in that eradication of malaria because you see, malaria has been there for the longest time.
Yeah.
I think even in the BCs, some sources say in the 3400 BCs.
Yeah, still there.
So I believe we should change it. We should, and this is going to be one way that MariTest, I believe MariTest is going to be a very great soldier in that war.
Yeah.
And is going to help at least fight it and end it.
Yeah. Soldiers fighting in the war.
Yeah.
Against
we believe in the front line.
Yeah. We
have to end this war because can you imagine if it started in those days when it was being called bad air.
Yeah.
And people were just relying on symptoms to know whether it's bad air or not.
Yeah.
Those, I think, BCs are the areas of even Jesus was not born. Can you imagine for Christians? And I don't know, I'm just saying it because it's BCs.
Yeah.
So he went, he left it. So he's going to come back again 2,000 years later and still
find us suffering.
We need to do better. And I believe that's why MariTest is here.
Yeah.
And I believe people should leverage on new technologies is unfolding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because believe me, it took more than a century for people to start using the microscope to detect malaria.
Yeah.
And I think the microscope came around the 1670s.
Yeah.
But you see, the time that it was started, people started using it to diagnose malaria was actually in the 1880s. So, and at this time, AI is unfolding. We have to use it to leverage. We have to leverage it to end our health problems. Yeah,
quicker than how long it took.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just close with a proverb. Just to tie it back to our African cultural context. Yeah. So let me read something, and then you'll tell me your in MariTest context. You learn how strong the roof is when the rain falls. This is a Nigerian proverb.
Wow. I love that proverb. You see, generally, rain is perceived as a blessing. So in this context, I'm going to do some ironic subversion, meaning I'm going to make the rain be a villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for now only.
For now.
Now, if you look at those three things that have been mentioned there, the rain, the roof, and strong.
Yeah.
So I'd say the rain, maybe health problems, I categorize malaria.
Yeah.
The roof is actually the innovation.
Yeah.
So who is being shielded by this roof? I think it's humanity.
Yeah.
So you never know when how strong the rain is.
Yeah, how you learn how strong the roof is when the rain falls.
Yeah. So I believe innovation is actually covering us.
Yeah.
So without innovation, we'd be at a very bad state.
Yeah.
Yeah. And innovation, I also start with the microscope. It's also an innovation.
Yeah.
So you can imagine where we'd be we didn't have innovation.
Yeah.
And so we'd all be dead. Because if you can't diagnose malaria using the innovation that we have, then I believe we'd be at a very bad state. So I think innovation is really shielding humanity. It's really pushing humanity and protecting humanity. Yeah. From the rain right now, which you're viewing it as a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my take.
All our health problems.
Yeah.
And now MariTest is shielding us. The AI-powered malaria diagnosis.
Yeah. That comes in the bit of innovation.
Yeah. Amazing. So I have really loved this conversation, and I know it's really going to be something really big and solving an urgent health problem in Africa. And I just look forward to seeing the progress and just, seeing you break down all these barriers and just hit your goals.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have been here. Actually, this is my first podcast. A friend of mine told me once that you're only confident until it's lights, cameras, action.
Yeah.
I'd like to tell him that maybe it happened, but maybe not. And I'm also happy that you're also sharing these stories of AI, because many young people are actually trying to build using AI.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be a great motivation for them. And I pray that, and I know this podcast is going to really grow. I love everything that is been here and the conversation that we've had.
Yeah.
I also believe that we'll make the right progress.
Yeah.
And I want to promise your viewers that very soon we'll be doing like a live demo of how MariTest works. So you're going to link everything, like how the device works with someone, and also it's going to be shown on the dashboard that I'm talking about.
I cannot wait for that. Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Great. So where can the viewers find you on socials?
Yeah. Okay. So on LinkedIn, we are MariTest Africa. On X, we also MariTest Africa. And we also have a website, www.maritestafrica.com. And we also have Instagram. We're also on Instagram. The only place we are not right there is TikTok, but we'll be there. We are coming strong, because you've seen how it's a force in the society right now. Even people in the rural areas, I never believe they have even TikTok.
They're on TikTok.
So it will be a great way to pass that information to them.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much, Stanley. It's been a lovely conversation. And I'm sure we are changing lives one health conversation at a time.
Thank you so much, Val. You've been a great host.
Yeah, thank you. So that's it for today. I have enjoyed having this conversation. And if you have watched us this far, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on all our socials. Thank you, and see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.